Hey Sagittarius, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check all of your major placements, your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, or just some of them, or two of them, or give up and do something else. And let's see, I'm going to start off with this new deck called the Botanical Impressions. I'm very nervous because I haven't done a set of readings on here without the Oracle Mystical Moments deck. That deck to me is just so generous and endlessly fabulous. Unfortunately, I don't want to get sick of it. Not unfortunately, but I really don't want to get bored of it and hate it. So I'm putting it off to the side for a while. So we're going to do these botanical inspirations. And then I have another new deck that I'm also very excited about, but also nervous about because I don't know it as well. And it's the Golden Tarot. So we're going to go from this into your tarot reading. So what are the energies we might be dealing with in this time period coming up here? We're talking about honeysuckle, woodbine, domestic happiness and devoted affection. I will wind thee in my arms, so doth the woodbine the honeysuckle gently entwist. William Shakespeare. So this is something that you're already entwined with, you're already very acquainted with. Could be a domestic situation as far as like a spouse or anyone in your family. Could also be something that you're very devoted to and you really love. That can be work, that can be anything. But we're going to be talking about something that already you're already very familiar with and very close to. And then the other energy here is the Gerbera daisy, purity, cheerfulness, and innocence. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. Thich Nhat Hanh. So joy is always present, always available to us. We just have to change our mindset. And sometimes it's... I always, when I say that, I always think like, well, what if your like spouse just died? Like, are we really telling people happiness is available to them? Not that moment, probably. Not. I just... It will be available if it's not currently available. Things change, you change, but purity, cheerfulness, and innocence. So we could be dealing with a child, one of your children, a child that you know. Yeah. All right, and then we're moving on to the Golden Tarot for your actual tarot reading. All right, Sagittarius, here's your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. So with this tarot deck, these are collages made from medieval and Renaissance art. So I find them very fascinating. There's a lot going on here. In your recent past, there's this 10 of Wands. You've recently put down some burdens or some expectations that were not yours to carry. You brought them a long time, and it's time to put them down. Look, with all the other luggage, Shakespeare, who we just quoted, invented the word luggage. Something you lug around. It's your luggage. I think that's so Twitter of him. Like it's very. That's what we do. We take these words and we morph them. So luggage. It's actually very 1980s slang. Like we put age at the end of things a lot. I can't think of a good example, but maybe 90s. Yeah. Anyway, 10 of Wands, putting down this burden. End of this. Okay. I'll focus here. End of some sort of journey where you like have accidentally carried other people's expectations, other people's burdens. It's been a long, hard journey, and you recently put those burdens down. You recently let go of them, and just these aren't mine anymore. And this is as far as I go with this. I like this wall here as far as just like I've hit the wall. I'm not going any further. We're not going any further with me doing all of this stuff, with me carrying this entire project, with me doing all of the housework. I mean, if we're talking domestic possibilities here, with me doing all of this, with me having to carry the burden, with me having to make all of the appointments for everybody in this household, or something, there's just expectations here that were not spoken, not not really talked about. Maybe you were very intuitive and you intuited these expectations and took them on yourself, but you're done with that. You're not doing that anymore because now you're in the hermit mode. This is St. Francis of Assisi, and who's just, he talked to animals. Like, how do you find out you can do that? And here's how you find out you can do that. You follow your own path and you don't really give a shit what other people say and whatever people think. We would not be talking about St. Francis of Assisi if he kept worrying about other people's expectations, what other people thought he should be doing, what other people said that he should be doing, and how he should be conducting, what kind of work he should be doing. Probably something with a retirement account and health insurance if you're in the US. No, he's off here following his own path. That's how we know about him. He followed his own path and the animal's path, and the animals came to him. He became completely who he is, and he did that by getting in touch with himself and not worrying about all these expectations that other people were bringing in, all of these definitions that other people brought in. Well, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm talking about myself, you're whatever you are, but I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I have to do these things. And he just put off all of these labels that he had lived with his whole life and went off into the woods and found out who he truly was by following his own North Star, letting these expectations go. So this is where you're at right now. You're following your own star. Who are you? What do you bring to the world? What are your gifts? Not what are your expectations, not what are your labels, what are your gifts? And so you're in a time of needing to do that. The hermit zone is where a lot of us are right now in quarantine. And I think that it's been incredibly helpful for many of us. I mean, as frustrating as it's also been, it's also perfect for this sort of exploration. Like, okay, who am I without my work environment? Who am I without going to concerts every other weekend? Like, who am I without sort of these external props that I maybe just like accepted from society as part of, my age group, what I need to be doing. This is just really getting in touch with who you are completely, your own source. I think I want to say your pure essence, like who you purely are, what brings you joy, and getting in touch with that, not what other people expect to bring joy. When I was in middle school, I had a hope chest that I sewed and filled with things for my future husband, because that's how I was raised, as that was your destiny. Other kids were, more going to the malls, shopping, and I was sewing things for my hope chest that I sanded and finished myself when I was 12. So that was my path. Like, that's the kind of thing, like, okay, don't be worried about what other 12-year-olds are doing. You do you, okay? So that's what you're doing. You're doing you. You're done with doing what other people want you to do. There's always layers, right? Until the next cycle and the next layer you discover of, oh my gosh, I've also been doing that but for this cycle and where you're at right now, you've uncovered a layer that's not you. That was somebody else, someone else's expectations, like that you're going to get married, and this will define you and your life and your entire childhood, as I experienced. So what you're hoping for, you might be hoping for the same notoriety of St. Francis has eventually enjoyed. The star card here, this is a rising star. This is wish fulfillment. Obviously, we're all hoping for wish fulfillment. We wouldn't have wishes if we didn't want them fulfilled. But this is also being in the flow of life. And this can be some sort of encouragement from life that you're on the right path. You want to know, am I on the right path? Well, welcome to your reading. You're on the right path. If you're on your path, you're on the right path. So this is sort of needing that encouragement, wanting to know that you're right in the flow, that this is where you're meant to be. And kind of looking around for that encouragement and that affirmations that am I following my destiny? Is this really it? Is this really me? And you might also be feeling a little shy of the public eye too, or excited for it, or also a little shy of it. She's excited for it, but this is in your hopes and fears, so you might be afraid of too much public eye, which makes sense because the public eye can be brutal and unforgiving. So So we crave it for the fame and for the affections, the supposed affections, but we also fear it for the harsh light that it can sometimes produce on our lives and ourselves. So what's at issue here is this Temperance card. So this could be a little impatient. You could be impatiently waiting for it. Am I on the right path? Am I on it yet? I need some confirmation. This could be impatience. This could be temperance is a little bit when things are at extremes and they're coming together. So this could be some really divergent feelings about something. I hate him. I love him. I hate him. I love him. I love this. I hate this. I love my life. I hate my life. Could be some real divergent experiences, some really strong emotions that could really use some blending, some coming together of some things, some blending, and things aren't blending. There might be some impatience here with the blending process. This isn't a blender. This is like hand whipping your souffle. It's going to take a while. Oh, hand churning butter. That's what this is. This is like hand churning butter. It's going to take a while. You're going to need to, and you don't want to. You don't want it to take a while. You want it to be instantaneous. And here you are, you're in Temperance, you know, you're also right here, you're like, this angel is like, yep, I'm doing it, I'm getting it done. I almost feel like he's mansplaining to her, like, and then and she's like, yeah, I churn butter every week, motherfucker. Like, shut up, I know what I'm doing. But we're taking this in the reverse. I'm just fascinated by my new card here. We're taking this in the reverse. And so she's like, see, look at that face she's making. Like, oh my gosh, really? You're going to tell me how to do this? This is my job. I've been doing it for 5,000 years. And so anyway, so you're not doing your job that you're not, there's some impatience here, some intemperance, maybe some flared tempers, and some really intense emotions that need to get smoothed out a little bit. And that'll take time. That'll take time. Hence the patience needs to come in here. All around you, in your environment, you have the Eight of Wands. You have fast moving, there's messages going all around. Maybe you're not part of these messages. This could be gossip about you, hence having a little bit of fear about this. This could be people talking around you, about you, maybe decisions being made and you're not there about you that are going to affect you, but you're not being included in the conversation as a player. As a you know, someone with a stake in this conversation, literally a stake in this conversation, you may not have that. But these conversations are going on around you. And it could be that it's just going to take some time for you to understand what's going on, or for you to get the messages that are meant for you. And it might seem that everyone else is having some movement here, and everyone else is getting messages and getting that job offer and moving forward with their lives and talking to other people while you're still in hermit mode and everyone else is at some sort of like Zoom party, and you're like, I'm still figuring out where I want to be here, what I want to do here. And then in your to-do list, though, is to rejoin society. You need to come out of hermit mode for a while here and come into this Three of Cups. You need to go hang out with friends. Sometimes, you know, this if this is a rumor mill or a gossip thing, sometimes we just need to reconnect with people and get back in our friend group to make sure that you know, just to reconnect and everybody remembers, oh yes, we're all people here. So that's a little bit of what you're doing. Is this is your to-do list, is to reconnect. You may have been in hermit mode a little too long, as we all have been, and just reconnect and maybe bring some of these things you've learned about yourself into this group. So yeah, you're this devoted affection, cheerfulness, coming together with people and enjoying each other's company. That's the Three of Cups for you. There might be some music there. There's a lot of contentment and happiness in coming together. I wouldn't say having a big party. I'd say, you know, a small intimate gathering of friends where you're all sharing openly with friends, connecting with other people. So you may have gotten out of a group for too long. You might be worried that they're talking about you, but just reconnect with them. Sometimes I can get up in my head. Sometimes we me included, can get up into my head. And then when I see the person again, I'm like, what? This is great. I love this person. Why was I worried about this? Like, so that's a little bit of what I'm seeing here is meeting up with some people, making connections, connecting deeply in a soulful and emotional way with people. And then in your future here, so we have 10 of Wands. This might just be a realization that you need to put a burden down, because in the future we have 10 of Swords. So this is ending a painful situation. This is the last sword. So I always read this as the end, right? Something needs to come to an end here. And your possible outcome is it gets as bad as it's going to get. We have this dog barking here, baying at this guy, possibly wanting to eat him once these swords finish him off. But this card is here to tell you several things. One, there's a dawn here. These clouds, however big and heavy they've been, they're moving on, right? We have the sun that is going to come out. We have the sun rising as it does and will for a trillion years at least. We have swords. The swords are all gone. And maybe this dog chased them away, or maybe this dog is waiting to eat you, or maybe this dog chased the swords away. But what we know is that whoever hurt you, whatever painful thing, it ends. It ends and they go away. They run out of swords. The dog chases them off. They see the sun coming and they're, I don't know, vampires and can't have the sun on them. Whatever. The thing that's causing you long-term, this is a long-term pain, something that's been very painful for you. So maybe you've been really isolated and you need to connect with your friends, and somehow connecting with your friends can help you end some sort of painful situation. It's the last sword. The last sword goes in and you're done, right? So this is ending it. This is the final part of the situation, and maybe you need some help from your friends to get out of a situation that's been a little difficult, that's been ongoing. But what I love about the 10 of Swords is that we do have the dawn here, and your predator is gone, your attacker leaves, and yeah, there's a hell of a lot of recovery that has to happen, but it's over. The nightmare portion is over. What happens next is the healing. So in the cycle that we're talking about, you know, something that's been very difficult will be coming to an end. But you need to get some help from your friends. That's what it's just saying. Get a little help from your friends and from people that love you and care about you and that you feel safe around. Get some help from them, and they can help you sort of see how this painful situation can end. So bringing a painful situation to an end. All right. So I hope you have fun hanging out with your friends, because that's your to-do list this week, is hanging out with some people, getting some help. I get by with a little help from my friends. That's what we're talking about here. All right, so Sagittarius, thank you so much for your likes, comments, and subscribes. And also, what do you think of my new cards? I'm very excited about them, although I terribly miss the Oracle Mystical Moments. I just don't want to get so bored of it. I hate it. I can't imagine hating that deck, but we just need to shake things up. I know I need variety, so I'm just trying to take care of that need before it bites me in the ass. So anyway, let me know what you think. I hope you have a great week. Just hang out with your friends.